Unit farming in MCOC has actually improved. You might not think it, and yes, it is mainly for those high competitive players, and there's some other things that have dropped in as well, but there's been a slight little improvement. However, I'm also going to bring into this video the discussion about something Kabam said a little while ago in a live stream. I can't find it, but I remember it specifically being said that there was a problem, or the players had a lot more units, which is going to be something that we've definitely seen in Heart of Fire, and more importantly, the Heat Wave deals recently that makes you think, I'm going to have to farm more units. So for the right now that's happening at the moment, getting Human Torch costs you 39,000, and I said 36,000 units. If you remember back a long time ago, Weapon X used to be about like 36,000 units to get back in the day with some deals, and you thought, okay, well, it's a premium chase champion, it's too expensive, it's really expensive, that's pretty bad. But it then went down. We then had Craven as a 7-star that was 15k units. And then I kind of thought to myself, right, are we on a better kind of track? And then all of a sudden we hit these deals, and now we are having to spend 39,000 units to get Human Torch. And of course, to add a little bit more context to all this, in fact, back a little while ago when we had the Heartfire deals, 36,900 units. Yes, that was a bit excessive. Is that something that kind of like paints a bad picture for the future? Of course it did, because then we got Human Torch side of things. But at least this was like a rare champion. It wasn't like a new Starage. This was the Dark Phoenix, if I remember rightly. Yes, it was indeed Dark Phoenix. But I suppose the point is units. You will nowadays need to farm a lot more than you used to in order to actually get some of the bigger chase things at the end of it. You could just say, oh, is this Kabam's like new thing of like, chasing money, like more money spent? You look at the past, and like before, July 4th deals used to be about if you hit 18,000 units worth like farm for free, then you pretty much cleared everything. Then it became 21,000 units. Then it was more than that, and we were hitting up like 30k, now it's 36k units, so it's definitely increased, but not everybody can achieve that level of farming. And I do worry like how Kabam assess the extent of how many units the player base has, because if they go, oh well, players are sitting on about, I don't know, 1 billion units, let's say, then what if those accounts are not necessarily spending accounts? Are those non-spending accounts? Are they inactive accounts but still have a ton of units, but they still register how many technical accounts that are total of the game have a load of units? Therefore, that's the benchmark, that's the average, because you could go of the 100,000 active players in MCOC on a regular basis. Of those accounts, how many units do they possess at this moment in time? And is it a fair reflection to say, oh, well, I'm personally sitting on 10,000 units, but I need to farm 4,600 more in order to get what I need to get? It's not something I can do like now. It's like it takes time. So, how are Kabam like judging that? And you might be going, okay, well, what's the extent of the change in the farming of the units to a point where we're like, well, why has it been injected more units? Well, a big chunk has been injected for you to acquire based on Radiance. Because if you go and have a look now, you can get over 35 days, 750 units if you so choose. Is it super expensive? It's debatable depending on how much you can actually access, because if you can't access them, then of course it's like, well, you're just going to hoard them, aren't you? Or not get them. But if you were to get them now on a regular basis, because this was live as of last month, if we add in some other things, like some random events, and Kabam have put some random events in now and again. If you do a year of Valiant, like the 150 units per month, if you then add in, a Heart of Fire style event for 600 units, and the year of Radiance units, then you're looking at 39,605 units with everything else. Now, those are just the theoreticals. There could be some things that are wrong with the numbers. But that's still a 10,000 unit rise in what Kabam can give you to access. So does this in some ways justify how Kabam are increasing the unit prices? Well, not for everybody, because Radiance farming is pretty tricky. You've got to be in a high up enough alliance to scoop some kind of like decent enough rewards, or be high up in Battlegrounds in order to achieve it. But I thought it was very interesting to see these new things being added in. But I'd love to find out from Kabam, like the unit budget for every player and the assessment of units of farming, because it's not cut and paste for everybody. Not everybody's got the time to farm, in Battlegrounds or kind of like grab the units there. And maybe it becomes easier if Radiance gets put out more to lower players, but then it just devalues what Radiance is. So it's some very weird. There's a lot of things that Kabam do that you have to always question, like what's their intention, what's the future intention behind it. Because then it has impact. Same thing with like Arena. Not everybody has time for Arena. For me, I try to now balance between also fighting in lower content, between Contender and Uncollected, to farm my units, because I don't have the time. I can set it on auto fight and then do other stuff I need to do, managing contractors, plans for the house and stuff like that. And also do my day job, which, I might just run an auto fight during my lunch break. I might record a video, have it on auto fighting as well. So you've got to find a good balance. And at the same time, it's good to see Kabam adding more units in, but it doesn't really kind of like represent everybody, because not everybody does the Valiant farming for units and we'll be able to do a year of it. Not everybody's going to get the Radiant side of things. Not everybody is able to do some of the random events Kabam have, and that could be like a random kind of quest that you've got to do that you gets units. I don't know. Either way, it was quite interesting to piece together. 10,000 extra units possibly injected into a player's opportunity to farm. Do you think that is something that is a fair assessment, or do you think that is something that's a bit kind of difficult to achieve, or is it more for the top end of players than it is the lower? And also, I am factoring various double tracks which we're in at the moment, which do give a large amount of units for free to the player base over a yearly basis. But anyway, your thoughts on the matter on unit farming increasing, the amount of units that you can pick up, as always in the comments, and I'll see you soon. Bye!